What's going on, everybody? It's Austin Got Figs, and I'm here bringing you yet another video. I know I didn't post much yesterday, but that's okay because we're back and we're here now. So in today's video, you can obviously tell by the title, we're pretty much going to be going on in depth on like what's next for LA Knight, because we obviously know, and a lot of people thought that he was going to win Money in the Bank, and obviously we know Seth Rollins actually ended up winning Money in the Bank. And a lot of people are wondering what's next for LA Knight. So to answer that question, I'm just going to give my thoughts on it and what I personally think is next for LA Knight. So without further ado, let's actually jump right on into it. All right, so what's next for LA Knight? Now, I have two sort of ways that I've kind of paved a way for LA Knight to kind of like a path for him to take. And I'm going to start with probably the more likely one that's pretty much possible to happen. I mean, they're both things that I'm going to state are very likely in my opinion, but I think that this path that I have that I'm going to explain first is more likely. And this path is obviously King of the Ring, because as we know, LA Knight is obviously in the King of the Ring tournament. It's actually this week SmackDown. He faces Randy Orton, Aleister Black, and Carmelo Hayes. And I think LA Knight is going to advance from that, most definitely. I can see LA Knight 100% advancing from this King of the Ring, from this round. And obviously, once he does win that, next he's going to face Sami Zayn. Now, I 100% think, yet again, LA Knight will advance from there as well. And then obviously, he'll face whoever obviously is on the other side of the bracket, of course. And I think this is the most likely option because I think WWE, like they always say, you know, good things come to people pretty much who wait, basically. And obviously we've waited so long. I mean, LA Knight dominated the mid card, and after that, I mean, I personally was sure that he was definitely going to be inserted somehow into the world title picture, but yet here we are, and he's still not there. So, and obviously, like I said, we've been waiting a good amount of time now. So, that's why, and this obviously winning King of the Ring is going to obviously elevate him to obviously being in the world title picture. So, and this King of the Ring is it's the closest option. It's like the furthest thing. It's the closest thing. It's the thing that LA Knight, that's going to get LA Knight to the world title picture the fastest from this point in time. So, for that reason, I think LA Knight is going to definitely win. Can win, and most definitely probably will win King of the Ring. Because, I mean, it's just the most obvious answer from right now, from like where we are, from where we're at currently, like in the WWE this year. I think the most likely thing is that LA Knight is going to win the King of the Ring. And like I said, obviously winning King of the Ring, of course, elevates you to the world title picture. Now, do I think he's going to face John Cena, or no, I don't. Not at all. I think LA Knight would definitely face Gunther, of course. And I honestly, I could see LA Knight even beating Gunther, because as we know, Gunther just won his World Heavyweight title back from Jey Uso, and I don't think they're going to want to really give Gunther another, long reign. You know, I don't think they're going to want to give him, another 5 months with this title again. I don't think they're going to want to do that. So hypothetically saying that LA Knight is going to win the King of the Ring, and if he faces Gunther, I think he's definitely going to win that 100%. And now as far as Seth Rollins goes, because obviously he does have the Money in the Bank, I'm sort of confused as to where Seth is really going to cash in at, because obviously this past Raw, Seth Rollins obviously came out during the John Cena promo with CM Punk, because obviously that set up the match for Night of Champions between John Cena and CM Punk. But at the end of that, Seth Rollins had came out and raised up the Money in the Bank briefcase. But for the Jey Uso and Gunther match that happened that same night, Seth Rollins was not there at all. So as far as Seth goes, I don't think he would cash in on LA Knight, and I think that's where LA Knight's title run would start, and so I don't think Seth Rollins would cash in on LA Knight. I think from what it's looking like right now, I think Seth might cash in on Cena, man. Honestly, I think Seth might cash in on Cena from what it's looking like right now. But I'm not 100% sure. This is just my thinking. So yeah, at Night of Champions, when LA Knight, or if LA Knight beats Gunther, I mean, at least that's what I think will happen. That's obviously where his world title reign is going to start for LA Knight, and then that obviously makes LA Knight a world champion, which I think LA Knight 100% obviously deserves to be a world champion because he's like one of the most over gimmicks right now in the WWE. I mean, you got the LA Knight, yeah. I mean, he's one of the most over right now in the WWE right now. So, I mean, either way, why wouldn't you want to push a guy like this at the top? I mean, so if seeing that LA Knight is obviously in this King of the Ring, he lost Money in the Bank. He said he was going to win that. Obviously, like I said, he lost. The next thing that he can do right now is win King of the Ring. And looking at the other competitors here, I mean, LA Knight is like the one who truly deserves it the most, in my opinion. Like, I mean, yes, you have guys like Cody Rhodes, but Cody Rhodes doesn't need to win this to be inserted in a match with John Cena, because obviously, as we had seen it, Money in the Bank, and even when Cody Rhodes came back, he was already targeting Cena. So that already built up the John Cena and Cody Rhodes storyline even more. So Cody Rhodes doesn't need to win King of the Ring to be inserted into a title match with John Cena. All he has to do is realistically just ask for it, kind of, pretty much. So, and I mean, that's what I mean. I mean, LA Knight is really, from literally what I'm looking at, LA Knight is like the most deserving here in this entire bracket. I mean, like I said, yes, you got guys like Cody Rhodes, but LA Knight is the one who truly deserves it. Like he's worked for a good amount of time. He's over with the fans. The fans absolutely love him. He's, like I said, he's so over, dude. So why wouldn't you push a guy like this? So that's one of the paths that I truly think that LA Knight could take, and like I said, obviously being King of the Ring, and I think that's probably the most likely way that they're gonna get LA Knight to the top, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean that just seems like the most sort of like it just seems like the correct option, the more likely option that they will obviously take with LA Knight to make him win a world title, So that's the first path that I kind of paved out for LA Knight, and that, like I said, that's the most likely one that I think that they're going to take with LA Knight. But now let's jump into my next option. Alright, now for the next possibility that they can do with LA Knight, I truly think it would have to do with, obviously, Seth cashing in for the World Heavyweight Championship, because let's take it back to this past Raw. So, in Braun Breaker's, obviously, King of the Ring qualifying match between Sami Zayn, Penta, and Dominic Mysterio, obviously, Braun Breaker didn't end up winning, and obviously, Braun Breaker is a part of Seth Rollins' faction. And he obviously didn't end up winning due to LA Knight costing him, as we had seen like on the past episode of Raw. And obviously that costed Breaker the match, and Braun Breaker didn't advance. So, for that reason, obviously, Rollins is going to be pissed because his guy didn't get through. So, for that reason, I think LA Knight is kind of going to keep taking shots like this at guys like Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, or just Seth Rollins overall, and that's going to kind of guide him up through how he gets to the top, because as I'm saying, Seth Rollins, if Seth Rollins cashes in and wins the World Heavyweight title, not John Cena's, but Gunther's title, and LA Knight keeps taking shots at Seth Rollins' faction like this, then LA Knight's gonna have a smooth ride up to the top to Rollins to eventually probably face him for the World Heavyweight title, and where he could probably win. So, like, I think that is probably not the most likely option. I think this option is actually probably a shot in the dark, in my opinion. I don't know if this is the 100% option. I mean, it could happen. It 100% could happen. I just don't think it's the most likely option. So, I mean, this option would make sense. I mean, if LA Knight just keeps taking shots at Rollins' faction like this, and Rollins eventually gets the world title off of Gunther, then LA Knight is already going to have a sort of... I mean, LA Knight already has tension with Seth Rollins' faction, but if they keep building more of this tension and this conflict between LA Knight and Seth's faction, then LA Knight is obviously going to be practically inserted into the world title picture if Seth Rollins is the world champion at the time, or if Seth Rollins does win the world champion, if you get, so like I said, I think the King of the Ring option is going to be the most likely option that they choose to do with LA Knight 100%, because it just seems more likely, in my opinion. I mean, that like I said, that's just me. Y'all could have 100% different opinions than me. But those are really the main two paths that I could really see them doing with LA Knight, man. I truly don't see really any other way, and if they don't capitalize on any of these two ways, I just don't know what other path they would take, in my opinion. So I hope the WWE and the producers and all of them choose to do one of these two ways that I mentioned with LA Knight, because like I said, I just think those are 100. If they don't capitalize on these two options, I really don't know when they're gonna pull the trigger and boost LA Knight to the top, man. Because if they don't do it soon enough, LA Knight's just gonna probably end up being one of the releases in the near future, man. And that's gonna suck, because I like LA Knight and I don't want him to go, because LA Knight is so good, bro. I love LA Knight, so I want to see LA Knight have this push to the top, man. So, like I said, hopefully they do take one of those two paths that I had mentioned. Let me know your guys' thoughts basically down in the comments. Do you think my options are probably probably won't happen? Maybe let me know your guys' thoughts. Maybe you guys have other paths that you think the WWE is going to take with LA Knight. Just leave all that down below in the comments. Just let me know your thoughts. And if you do want to see more videos like this, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you get notified every time I post a video. And without further ado, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.